Right, I guess I'm just gonna get into it. Uh, so I'm here today talking to you guys from a pretty special spot. So this morning I realized that if I walked 5.4 miles, it would take me to mile 540. So where I'm sitting right now is mile 540. Now I know that's not really important to all of y'all, but to me the number 54 is pretty important because it's a number that a friend and I, share, something special about. And so this place where I'm sitting is special. And where I'm where I'm at, I'm facing the east. Directly behind me, the sun is setting. I've probably got about 30 minutes of actual daylight left, so we'll see if I can actually get what I need to say in there. Hopefully it's much faster. And yeah, directly in front of me is a trail about 10 meters or so, but the spot's pretty secluded, something most people wouldn't consider to stay at, so I had to do a little clover leaf just to find it, and it was, pretty much perfect. And also, this is one of the very few spots in the last couple of weeks, pretty much ever since I've gotten into Virginia, that I've got phone service. So the app that we use out here, far out, said that there's phone service here for Verizon. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make this first video. I'm gonna take this leap. I'm gonna see what the hell it is, and I'm gonna fucking just go ahead and I'm gonna call my buddy with whom the 54 special number that I have in common. I'm gonna call him, and I'm gonna share this moment with him. And I mean, hell, look, let me see. Can I figure out to flip this shit around? Yeah, look. The dude even tattooed this shit on my leg in his garage. Mind you, he's not a tattoo artist, but he is pretty much an artist for life. Yeah, we decided to choose, or I told him, let's put it in the dumbest spot possible. He said, how about right on top of the shin? So yeah, sure as shit we did. It was fun, right in his garage. Anyway, I'm gonna call the dude right from here, right after I'm done with this, and I'm gonna tell him that this is gonna be the first episode of what I'm doing in the future. So, buddy, you know who you are. I'll talk to you about it, and I'll identify you in the future if you're up to it. But thanks. I love you, my friend. And I want to let you, whoever might watch this in the future, know that, you got a best friend out there. Somebody, it might be your mom, your dad, your cousin, sister, brother, but anyone can be your best friend in the time that they need to be. It could be like the guy that I ran to, a couple weeks ago. Dude, that freaking, honestly, most people would look at him and think that this dude probably couldn't be anyone's best friend. Pretty intimidating looking dude, but, he and I had shared a couple of conversations, pretty much casual stuff. Shared some cigarettes and shit, but we were at the, pre-trail days. I'll talk about that later. Stuff, and I had found a little quiet moment away from the pre-craziness, and he just came and sat down right next to me, and there was no one else around, and you can kind of hear the music in the background a little bit. It was wet out, rained a little bit, but pretty beautiful. And this dude, he you could just feel the soul in him. And we had a fucking great conversation, and we had this butterfly freaking land on both of us, and two grown men who really had just met in that moment, wept. Dudes who looked like freaking that would happen. And I'm not going to identify him here again until I, get a chance to talk to him again. So I look forward to whenever that next time is. But you've got a best friend. So give him a call. And on top of that, I need to call my mom too. So I'll call her after this. But to the actual story now here. So welcome to episode 1 of what's going to be called Bowels, Blazes, excuse me, sorry, the music started playing in my earphones for some reason, which is actually really cool. I didn't know it could do that, but let me turn it off. Okay, that worked, still recording. All right, so yeah, it's going to be called Bowls, Blazes, Balds, and Bowels. And for whatever reason, my frickin' headphones thinks that one of these words that I'm saying is a trigger word to start playing music. So that might happen a couple times. Sorry. Bear with me as I work through some of the kinks. No. I'm gonna burn one here because I'm actually pretty frickin' nervous. But I worked it out there. This is the last of a brand of the cigarettes that I don't like. And it's also kind of a timer, gonna act as a timer for me to know, like, hey, I need to wrap this shit up. So I got here, I took some time, just about maybe 5 minutes to review some notes that I took. And here we go. Oh, I got water, which is the most important freaking thing. So even though my tent's not set up now, I don't really give a shit about that because it's nice. But I have water, so nothing else really matters. Anyway, on to episode 1 of Bowls, Blazes, Bowels, and... I'm sorry. Bowls, Blazes, Balds, and Bowels. Quadruple B, I guess. No. Freaking music. At least the song is, it's cool. Anyway, so the first episode's called NewLiztd, and it's kind of weird. I picked up my notes here. NewLiztd. This is pertaining to a playlist that I found saved on my Spotify. You know, I knew it's been there for a freaking long time, but I didn't really remember what the hell it was, or if it was something that I did, or maybe something that a previous girlfriend or somebody had introduced me to. But I don't know. I just kind of had avoided it. Well, I've pretty much gone through all the freaking music that I have, and we're not on cellular most of the time out here, so it's just what you have downloaded. And I always forget when I have service to download a new playlist for some dumb reason. But finally, I just needed a change up, a new thing. And this is, just getting into Virginia post trail days, leaving out of Damascus and heading towards where I'm sitting right here. And so I see this NewLiztd one, and I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. First song is Lana Del Rey. Freaking love her, awesome, but it's not like a track that would be on the radio, or even one that I could put in a place where why I would choose this song. A great one, love her the voice. It's kind of obscure, but yeah, great. And there's a couple of other songs, some that I recognized. And I just didn't, but wasn't really clicking what it might be yet. XX came on. I freaking love them. That reminded me of a great drive that I took on Coast Highway out when I was stationed as a recruiter out in Cali, from Solvang, the Danish village, out through Santa Maria, Lompoc, and down the coast. And I remember discovering that band on that trip, and so yeah, great track. But so keep going. A couple of different things. Songs, but a couple of things I just never even feel like I had heard before. Maybe there was this faint whisper of you know, this, at the end of the telephone game when I was in grade school, you know, it had already been over, and then somebody comes and asks you and says, like, hey, is this what you, it was kind of like that in my head for a while. This is, I'm going through like some of the most beautiful places that I've been so far. Yep, this thing keeps going up. Put it down for a minute. And I'll get to that later. But anyway, let me look at my notes here for a second. Okay, on top of this, like, I just couldn't figure out what it was. It seemed like it might be a mixtape that I might have made for somebody, you know, kind of for a girlfriend, or but like some of the songs just didn't make sense for why I would send that to them. So I would send it to maybe a friend or to this buddy that I was telling you about kind of in the intro there today. And then, you know, there was like this track that came on, and I had really, yeah, I remembered, it's this super fond memory. It's a track that's really personal to me that I shared with this this super cute redhead we dated for just a couple of months out at Temple in Texas. That the 54 buddy met. He's like the only girl that I brought home to him and his wife and family that they kind of approved of, I guess. But anyway, we were sitting on her porch swing, and the song I shared the song with her, and it was just gorgeous, beautiful moment. Yeah, didn't work out. It is what it is. But I didn't think that this was a playlist I would be sending to her. Right after that was actually Tracy Chapman, which freaking amazing, one of my favorite artists of all time. I'm glad that I forget who it was. Maybe it was Luke Bryan, the country artist guy, did her version of Fast Car, her song. That kind of brought her back into the spotlight a little bit, even though she's, you know, kind of a reclusive person. Not reclusive, but you know, she just wants her space. But was able to give her some more spotlight, you know, which was awesome because more people need to listen to her body of work. But that song was the promise anyway. Listen to it, give it a chance. But right after that, Ridiculous. Had freaking no idea. I know that I would have had to heard it somewhere, but it was this damn. I mean, it was definitely a Mexican track. It was, you know, not cumbia, but it was like, you know, just freaking great. And you know, my Spanish is, we'll call it okay, enough where I, you know, could survive if I needed to, but like I'm not, you know, gonna be fluent or anything. But the dude's singing fast, so it's hard to sing. But the only thing I could pick out of the whole track was no se necesitan llegar something, you know, like you don't need to arrive, or, you know, whatever. I don't know. I had no idea why I was there, why I would pick it. I mean, I do have a lot of Latin music and mix in some different places, but I mean, it's kind of leans more Aventura type stuff than that, to be honest. But it was awesome. It like really made me kind of like cheery and laugh, and then just inexplicably at the end, he says, "Plain as day" in English, 760. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I mean, that's, you know, that's the zip code for Oceanside, California, where I'm from. You know, it used to be 619 in San Diego, and then became 760. So anyway, so I went on, you know, a bunch of different songs, and then but it confused the hell out of me. I went through the whole thing, and it ended actually with a cover of Chris Isaak's "Wicked Game" by Stone Sour, which is great. There's so many different versions of that song. Always loved the original, you know, when I was younger. My mom had the cassette tape. I'm pretty sure, you know, she was, yeah, you know. And then, but the video on VH1 was, I mean, I guess MTV too, but we were VH1 allowed to watch. So, yeah, hot video. But the track, you know, it was a good one, but then the playlist ended, and I was like, wait a minute, that can't be the end, because it just didn't make any freaking sense. It was like unfinished, right? So, just kept listening to it. It was like this mystery that I had to solve, and in this time again, I'm going through the Grayson Highlands and spending time with ponies and hanging out with grass puppies, and I mean, going from beautiful, pretty fortunate weather, but cold times, warm times, wet times, spring in Appalachia, and uh, yeah, so I keep going through it, and I suddenly started to realize that it hit me when this Zach Bryan track came on, which if I mean, love the dude, but again, it was a track that I had to have listened to before, but because I've listened to his catalog pretty much, but like it didn't hit me. I didn't remember it. Didn't realize what it was. I it was definitely me who made the playlist. I could finally figure that out, but I didn't know. So on multiple listenings, including leading right up into here where it just played in my freaking ear on accident, it was telling me stuff. And one of the things that I found is like all of these tracks, there was ballads. I went through like a little stretch with Ben Folds and freaking, oh damn it, what's her name? Of her. Ben Folds and not that one. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is said minimally edited. I'll try to do better next time. Yeah, Mazzy Star is a great one. Um, Oh, Regina Spektor. Yeah, just piano. Love her. She's freaking great. But again, a song I didn't freaking like wouldn't I can't place. Couldn't pass her. But over time, I found it, and there's more on there. But that Zach Bryan song is what did it. It clicked. It became. I realized it. I made this playlist, and I remember when it was. I made this playlist when I was like at the worst, the bottom of my despair, the bottom of when I was in the absolute pain, and when I was hooked on the all of the painkillers, and when I was drinking a handle of vodka damn near a day, and when I damn near didn't anyway. Um, I made it during that time, and it almost seemed like it was that avatar reaching out to who I'm becoming right now, and who I'm trying to figure out how to be, or have been, I guess, but think that I'm actually making some progress since I've been out here. And so when I went back and re-listened to it this last time, just on the way in here, I realized, each one of these tracks was a track that was being sung to me by a different avatar of mine, a different person in my life. One song was being sung to me through in the mirror, Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror style, coming back to me in from the when I was at the peak of my professional career, at the top of everything. I couldn't be stopped. That was that person talking to me, and there was another when I was just at the bottom, the pits, talking to me, and another when from all these different parts and pieces that I had forgotten about a lot of, and some that were just holding on too tightly. Um, they were they gave these songs to me, and I realized that at the last one, that Wicked Game cover, um, it was it was a choice, kind of. It was it was the bad parts of me or the good parts of me, or however you want to look at it, the yin and the yang, or the angel and the devil on his shoulder. It was you know, those, the diametric opposal, you know, Harry Potter, freaking Star Wars, however you want to go with it. Those two in the mirror saying, this is your choice. This is the time. I hope it is. I guess we'll find out. Getting dark, getting cold, haven't eaten, gonna pop that up. Thanks for listening, guys. In the future, you know, I'll start covering all the stuff that I went over in the introduction, which it will be the second video I ever do, right? You know, probably the next couple of days. But yeah, there's something yeah, that, okay, one last thing. At the last stop that I made, I was sitting here and I just listening to this wonderful, beautiful playlist, and this right I get to stand up and this little brown frog pops out. I'll post pictures and stuff, and I realized that this little brown frog probably just heard me, you know, belt out, you know, every single word of this little playlist that you know, reminded me why I'm out here, and how and gave, you know, made it to get to a point where I could take the next step in sharing, you know, the evolution of whatever the hell my art is going to be. So look for, like Hank Green used to say in the Crash Course stuff, look for the playlist. I'm going to put it there. It's called NewLiztd. It's spelled funny. It'll be in the doobly-doo. I guess, you know, somewhere. I'll have to figure that out. I've literally never posted a YouTube video before. But it'll be there somewhere. And thanks. So next time I'm heading to Settlers Museum and a alpaca ranch / hostel tomorrow, which I'm super excited about. So more to follow. Till next time.